We both have good jobs. I'm a nurse. I'm a registered nurse.
First time here? Welcome to the club. A lot of people are new poor, and on behalf of the old poor, welcome to the club. Old poor, new poor, some of us are re-poor. We found our way out, and then the economy did its thing, and we're right back. And I got a lot of heat from the last video I did, because they're like, I can't believe you would tell this lady to dumpster dive. If you want something bad enough, you'll find a way to make it happen. But if you want it and don't need it, then, well, you'll probably find a way to make an excuse for why you don't have it. This isn't a conversation about the system failing people. We know the system's failing people. But if you're waiting on the system to fix itself, you're failing yourself. And the problem is not that you're poor. The problem is you kind of suck at being poor. A lot of people out here buying new cars that cost a couple $100,000. For old poor, our new cars have a couple 100,000 miles on them. Learn how to make it work. You clip coupons, you freeze stuff. Yesterday's meatloaf is today's sloppy joes. Some of y'all have never been told we got McDonald's at the house, and it's starting to show. I hear it all the time. Nobody working 40 hours a week should be struggling financially. Well, you're right. But if you got champagne taste and beer money, you're going to have to figure out how to be bougie on a budget, baby. And the difference between the new poor and the old poor is we're not scared. We know how to make it. If you keep that mindset when times are good of, well, I don't really need it, then it doesn't really make a difference when times are bad. Coupons, flea markets, swap meets, it all becomes second nature. You just figure out how to do it. You go to a thrift store every now and then. You still have a lot of people that will turn their nose up. I would never do that. Well, then don't complain. I would never do that because I don't want my kids to get picked on at school. Well, they're getting picked on by the people's kids that you're worried about impressing in the first place. You don't know how far you can stretch a bill, then you don't really know what we're talking about. Our bill's due on the 10th, but they won't cut it off till the 15th. That's another couple days for me to figure out how to pay the bare minimum. But if you watch the original video, she sits and talks about how she has $200 to last her for the rest of the week after she has paid all her bills and bought groceries. There's some of us that ain't making $200 or $300 before we pay bills and groceries. But the old poor is not afraid to get their hands dirty to make some extra money. Can't tell you how many times I've been driving around and thrown something in the back of my truck. Dad, we don't need a new washer and dryer. I know, but if I fix it, that's an extra $200. Washers and dryers, dressers, things like that. I can't tell you how many times we've seen people throw away perfectly good stuff just because they don't know what to do with it. And look, old poor versus new poor, it is not a struggling Olympics. I'm not trying to win a gold medal on trying to outpour somebody else. What I'm saying is there's a lot of people out here who are struggling. I get it, but you're not struggling as bad as you think you are. Times are hard for everybody right now, but hard times can make hard people. I know it's a very boomery Gen X thing to say, but there's a huge difference between wants and needs. If you're not willing to cut down your wants for needs before you start complaining, well, then there's no need for you to complain. Look, I am going to play devil's advocate. The fact that more people are making more money than they ever have before, but it buys less, yes, is ridiculous.